Little baby wanna know where to be at. Drop the low and I told her meet her. I'm a trap nigga, some shit I re-well. I'm at the light right now, I'm about to beat her.
An officer would claim that around 6 a.m., he observed inmates Cherry and Hoyer fighting. Inmate Cherry armed with a rock and inmate Hoyer armed with a lock and a sock. The officer would claim he ordered both inmates to stop and that both complied. A simple fighting ticket, basically. 1090 Jake would go on to claim that the contents of this ticket were not true. He would state that the Blood Brothers told him not to fight back and to lay down and just bleed, so that when the officers came, he would look like the victim and not have to move out of the dorm. Review of 1090 Jake's overall inmate record shows that he was in fact housed at Lancaster Correctional Institute on January 16, 2014. Review of his inmate disciplinary actions also shows that on January 16, 2014, he was in fact charged with possession of a weapon, battery, assault on an inmate. While looking at Cherry's inmate classification record, I noted a few weeks after this incident, on February 4th, 2014, a handwritten inmate grievance was filed by inmate Jacob Cherry, Department of Corrections number C07652. The grievance would tell 1090 Jake's version of the story to the warden of the prison, and this is what it said. On January 16, 2014, I was sitting on my bunk when inmate Jimmy Horry, K08763, hit me with a rock and sock on my head. This was during morning shift change. The officer came in and cuffed him, then checked all the inmates and found Mark Cherry was also assaulted. More staff came and then cuffed me, Mark Cherry, and Jerry Lewis. We were all taken to the back room of B dorm. Inmates Horry and Lewis were said to be the assaulters and me and Mark Cherry the victims. I then witnessed Sergeant Martin start beating inmate Jerry Lewis. Eventually, Sergeant Martin, Captain Sapp.
Yo, welcome back to Hot Thoughts TV. It's Pico checking in again with another news update. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel before we get started. So, 1090 Jake's paperwork dating back to 2014 when he was locked up has surfaced. It's a lot of talking and speculation going on online in debate of if 1090 Jake is a snitch or not. Now, before we get started, I gotta let y'all know, I'm not a street nigga. I don't live by no street code. A lot of this snitch shit is fictitious to me because I feel like niggas will tell in the right situation, regardless of who the nigga is. In the right situation, if the right incident occurs to a nigga or to somebody around a nigga gonna tell. Anyways, the paperwork has surfaced and 1090 Jake has already come to a head to defend his name. Let's see what 1090 Jake had to say in regards to the snitching allegations.
Going here, you never even been to prison. That's the grievance. So what happened, whatever day in 2014, we was at war with the Zoes in B-Dorm at Lancaster. That was the jungle dorm. It was during shift change. One of my brothers popped one of the Zoes with a lock. He had a big fat ass gold lock. Hit the Zoe in the back of the head. That's Mark Cherry. That's in the paperwork. That's Cherry. You know, that French shit. It's like 3 different people. I see Jimmy Moray. Listen, we gonna bring all that. I can't even bring up their fucking pictures so you can see what they look like. But Mark Cherry was the Zoe that got hit in the back of his head with the brick. Not a brick, a lock. Put a hole in his shit. So he got hit. He went, made this weird ass sound. Everybody in the dorms are mad quiet and shit. I'm getting up, cause it's early in the morning. I got my arms in my sleeve, like in my shirt or whatever to be warm. I sleep right next to the water fountain, which is right next to the booth. The booth is where the COs are at. Cocaina is Jimmy. Cocaina is his nickname. That's the other stuff. That's who fired me up. So he walks this way, and he swings a sock, and it ends up being a piece of asphalt from the basketball court. That's what I got hit with in the back of my head. The shit break, and fucking rocks and pebbles shoot all over my bunk. He fires me up while the COs is watching this shit. The COs see him do this, and then he goes right up to the booth, and just stands there until they come out the door, and then lock him up. So what we call that in Florida, that's a gangster check-in. You can check in where you, hey, CO, I want to go PC, I don't feel safe, or you crash somebody in front of the CO. But you still get off, but you do it in front of the CO so you get picked up. So when I go to get up, my homie Red Light that's in the dorm with me is like, nah, don't get up. They're going to come in here, they're going to see you straight, you're going to be good. They sweat. It's like, nah, you gotta go to medical. You got a hole back there. So I got a scar back there and everything. Just sit in the room handcuffed while they beat the fuck out of him. In the dorm, know exactly how the shit went. Bro crashed me in front of Troll, bro. It's like you get shot in front of the police. The police know who shot you already. You see what I'm saying? Alright. So you trying to say any little thing, they already know he did it. He did it in front of Troll. I got a homie that's in Georgia State Prison right now that was there when it happened. He the one that told me not to get off the bunk. So motherfuckers that was in the dorm know exactly how the shit went. Bro crashed me in front of Troll, bro. It's like you get shot in front of the police. The police know who shot you already. You see what I'm saying? Alright. So you trying to say any little thing, they already know he did it. He did it in front of Troll. If anything, you put 3 other people in confinement with what you did. Nothing that we was already in that bitch in sentence. Yeah. So it's like, so ain't nothing the fuck you do. So to the niggas that's gonna be like, but still, like, alright, so explain what the difference between a grievance and a statement is, because niggas gonna like, that's still telling that you write some shit out. You know what I'm saying? So like, break that down. Your statement is gonna be whatever you initially fucking, I think like whenever this shit actually happened. I don't even remember if we wrote a statement or if they just wrote it for us. And like forged our name, because we all got cuffed up. Because I was one of the ones that got taken to medical, because me and Dude both got hit up. And the other 2 just got beat, and then they tried to say, like, when they beat the fuck out of him, all the shit that they did to his face, they said that I did it. Yeah. So a grievance could be anything, bro. Like, you got a sock with a hole in it. You got whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just a grievance is like a complaint or an appeal, or like I don't really know how to put it in civilian terms because they don't really have the same shit in civilian court. But a grievance is like a complaint. Yeah. So, alright, another question they're gonna be on. So, like, did you have to write that grievance out, or like that was some shit that they came to you with? Like, how did the grievance even? How did you know what I'm saying? There's some niggas right now they say it's like I requested the grievance. So you did request? I requested.
So I'm not gonna be able to play this whole video of 1090 Jake breaking down what happened. He was explaining himself for over 2 hours, and y'all know how it go. If a nigga got that much explaining to do, 9 times out of 10 they wrong. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you all to decide whether or not it's snitching, because as I stated before, I'm not involved in gang or street culture. But I find it funny that this same person who's known for exposing people for writing statements, sitting in interrogation rooms, and doing yada 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 when it comes to talking to the police has a million excuses as to why he did it. I personally don't give a fuck. But in my opinion, if it's wrong for you to tell, it's wrong for you to tell. When is there, if it's not right to tell, when is there a right time to tell? How can you just make a right time to tell? In this situation, it's okay for me to tell because how? If it's wrong to tell, if it's wrong for you to say other people's names, because throughout this whole 2-hour live, which like I said, I'll make sure I put the link down there so y'all can go watch it, or y'all go pop on Remo's Instagram page. Remo is a stem off of No Jumper, and he actually did the interview with 1090 Jake, King AK-47, and shit like that, so y'all can get hip to it that way. But in my opinion, if you're putting somebody else's name on a piece of paper other than yours and saying what they did to you, is that not telling? Regardless of who you telling on. If you put somebody else's name, and granted, I get some people are going to say, well, he told on the police. Okay, cool. What about the other inmates? What about throughout the duration of him explaining himself? He's still saying people's names and saying what happened, what took place to him, and making himself seem as though he's the victim. If you ask me, there's a lot of gray area with this shit. Everybody justifies why they tell. And as I stated before in the beginning of the video, I fully believe anybody will tell in the right situation. If something happened to you, you'll probably tell. If the right thing or wrong thing happened to you or someone you care about, a nigga is gonna tell. Y'all niggas are lying, bro. All y'all niggas is not gonna keep y'all mouth shut. It might be a couple niggas keep their mouth shut, but everybody is not gonna keep their mouth shut. For the right reason, you niggas will tell, and there's nobody that can convince me otherwise. Do I give a fuck? No, I'm a civilian. But I just need everybody else to stop making gray area and making it seem as if they will never ever speak to the police, and then when it come out that they spoke to the police, Now it's, oh, this is why I spoke to the police. Well, if you say it's wrong, why is it right when you do it? Why is it right in this instance? If it's wrong, it should be wrong all the way around. Now again, I can't play y'all the whole video. It's too motherfucking long. But what I can tell y'all is, like I said, for anyone that explain themselves for 2 hours, they feel guilty about something. If not, why explain yourself? What explanation do you know if in your heart you feel you did nothing wrong? I'm not going to get on here and explain myself if I feel like I did nothing wrong. Damn sure not for 2 hours. It's just funny to me because this is the same guy that's notorious for exposing niggas for working and talking with the police. But now, because you got hit in the head, it's okay. It's okay, I guess. If y'all haven't seen, he wrote out a very detailed grievance. It's not a statement, it's a grievance, which features other inmates' names as well as other officers' names. Signed by him, signed and dated by 1090 Jake. And again, I don't give a fuck about 1090 Jake, but it's just the simple fact that 1090 Jake, you made a name off yourself for exposing people for doing what you're doing. So why is it okay that you're doing it? Regardless if it was 2014 or 2023, if you cooperated, you cooperating. If you telling the police something, you're telling. If you're online still giving niggas names and visual representation of what happened, oh, I'll show y'all a picture of the niggas. That's still telling, nigga. If you gonna be quiet, you gonna be quiet. If you gonna get online and tell everybody name and what everybody look like and what gang everybody banging and where your homeboys is locked up right now and how they the ones that told you not to say this and do this, nigga, you telling. Now I ain't, like I said, I'm not a street nigga, so I don't want to be the nigga to put a snitch hat on somebody. But I am a realist and I am a part of the culture and I pay attention to all of the shit that take place within the culture. So like I said, if we're going to point out everybody else's faults, we got to point this out. No matter how many times you try to break it down, nigga, that don't make it right. You still told. You still 1090 Jake the teller. Which is probably why you so good at finding other niggas' paperwork or deciphering from what's a teller and what's a non-teller. It's because you've done it. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. Does 1090 Jake get the pass for the grievance or is that snitching? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Pico signing out.